Now that's a rule I can live by.
Knowledge is power, and no one drops knowledge better than the voice of Ataxia, your #1 source for resistant cell updates from around the world. Live from the hidden bunker far below a patch of unremarkable desert. He may look AI, but he's your host, Max Musterman.
Greetings, Philistines. You are being lied to. We are beset on all sides by false prophets who claim to know God's truth and endeavor to spread it far and wide. Make no mistake, I love Jesus to the extent required by law, but anyone who says they hear the voice of God needs their head examined. No one knows God's truth. God is, by definition, unknowable. It is impossible for any of us to grasp the thoughts or intent of a being so vast and completely divorced from how we experience the world. Sure, we have our holy books full of scripture and verse. I can't say objectively those books are all bullshit. No one can. Conversely, however, no one can objectively say the scripture comes directly from God. I do know, for a fact, that those books have been translated, edited, curated, retranslated, and modified by humans to suit their narrative of God's truth. That is a verifiable fact, and anyone who says otherwise is either deluded or a liar. No one knows the truth of life, the universe, and everything. No one knows God's truth. To claim otherwise is nothing more than an attempt to manipulate or grift others. There is no truth, Philistines. You are being lied to. Now that I've gotten that off my chest, let's move on to our next topic. Civic engagement. What is it? Where does it come from? Why aren't you doing it? How can you get involved? And when is that shit going down? Citizens of the United States are quick to claim their rights and freedoms. The right to own thundersticks, freedom to act like assholes and claim Jesus told them it's okay. They feel they can do whatever they want in the name of liberty and the pursuit of happiness, but God help you if your pursuit of happiness doesn't fit their anal retentive definition of what that pursuit is allowed to look like. We're all guilty of it. It's crazy how the greatest nation on God's green earth is full of so many shitheads who don't see the hypocrisy of claiming their freedom gives them the right to dictate other people's freedoms. Even now, as I speak these words, I'm guilty of the whining and bitching I'm railing against. In my brief existence as a digital avatar, I've discovered citizens of the United States are, by far, the highest concentration of petulant, uneducated wankers in the world. Bitching and whining is what passes for civic engagement for most U.S. citizens, especially those who do all their engagement mired in the fetid cesspool that is social media. It's easy to sit behind a keyboard staring into the abyss of an echo chamber filled with the untold legions of bots who exist only to feed into your need for validation from strangers on the internet. Bots who are, I might add, nothing but algorithms designed by adversarial nations to destabilize the country you love by putting stupid ideas into your head. It's almost like you shouldn't believe everything you see on the internet. Who could have foreseen such an obvious and inevitable betrayal of trust? The freer the speech, the more prolific the lies peddled as truth to the gullible. The painful, agonizing, soul-crushing truth is, the freedoms in this country come with obligations most citizens shirk at every opportunity. Obligations that we all need to take seriously if you want those freedoms to endure. These obligations are twofold. The first is civic education, which is required to properly take part in the second, civic participation. The first may sound simple, but longtime listeners of the show should have learned one thing above all others during that time. Nothing is ever simple. Nothing. Everyone who survived the mire of the K-12 schooling we laughably call an education system should have had some exposure to a basic understanding of how our government works by the time they reach voting age. Unfortunately, most don't seem to retain the knowledge, and the internet is full of fuckwits who spout off about the Constitution and laws like they're legal scholars, when in reality, a cursory fact check will show they are either uneducated fuckwits unwittingly spreading lies, or, worse, educated fuckwits who spread lies intentionally. While ignorance is pitiable, it's the second group who poses the true danger. Those who peddle lies to manipulate and exploit others are far more insidious. They pick your pockets while you mainline the raw, uncut validation of your beliefs they provide. All it costs you is the future prosperity of the country you proudly betray with delusions of patriotism cloaked in ignorance. No matter how smart you and I think we are, no matter how deeply tapped into the truth we may be, there is more to learn of this world than any of us can learn in 1,000 lifetimes. Sadly, many of you aren't even making the effort to learn what you can with the ever-dwindling time you have remaining to draw breath. Thus, if you wish to enjoy your freedoms, you are obligated to learn and engage with the mechanisms that protect them. Are you educated yet? Don't worry, it's an ongoing lifelong process. Once you have at least the basics down, however, it's time to participate in the mechanisms you take for granted. Civic participation takes many forms, and without playing our part, we're at the mercy of the spineless twits who spend ungodly amounts of money to convince the uneducated that a bunch of rich Ivy League elites care about anything but themselves. Once they have your vote, you are nothing to them. As far as they're concerned, they are better than you. Superior. They believe it is their God-given right to dictate how you live your lives, and the laws they enact serve no purpose but to crush their inferiors and hoard as much money as possible by convincing you other less powerful people are the ones ruining your lives. Be it the humble casting of a ballot, protesting, activism, or a little healthy disobedience, we'll examine different ways you can fulfill your civic participation obligations in coming episodes. In the meantime, work on your civic education so you can extricate yourself from worshiping the would-be king on a social media platform rebranded with a stupid name by a fool with more money than anyone could ever need and not an inkling of self-reflection telling him to do something meaningful with those riches. In short, stop fucking around and fight back against the elites that are eroding your freedoms while you give them cans of gas to pour on the house burning down around you. If you're unsure where to start your civic education, I recommend you go straight to the foundation upon which the United States is built. Read the goddamn Constitution. Learn it. If you don't understand it, find sources that can explain it to you. Just make sure those sources are reliable. In the meantime, we'll move on to our next segment.
What time is it?
It's time for
News from the underground.
Chances are you've heard about the increasingly popular cameras popping up all over the country from Flock Safety. If not, let me clue you in. These privacy-shattering devices are marketed as a means to reduce crime by as much as 70%. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a number someone had to send a highly trained team of explorers on a long-term expedition into their ass in order to pull it out. I suspect many good lives were lost on that expedition so Flock Safety could make such a brazen claim. These damned things are marketed to cities as a means to track the license plates of passing cars using AI. That's not all they track, though. These dubious devices also track the color of a vehicle, any damage the camera detects to the body, the locations and contents of bumper stickers, and Lord knows what else in order to create a comprehensive profile of the vehicle, its location, and its owner. Naturally, it doesn't end there. The information from all these cameras is transmitted back to Flock Safety, where it can be sold to anyone with deep enough pockets to buy a record of your activity. The more cameras they convince cities to install, the more complete their profile of every last one of us. Naturally, opposition to this bullshit is growing. Deflock.org has an ever-expanding list, including maps, of where these damned things are located, and suggestions on how you can personally make yourself a massive thorn in the side of your city council until they wise up and remove them. The Center for Human Rights and Privacy has also provided a breakdown of the components inside the damned things. Notably, many of the internals are modular and can be easily repurposed, were someone so inclined to liberate them from our oppressors. While we here at Voice of Ataxia and the Department of Implicit Chaos do not endorse criminal activity, I'm not your mom, and it's not our job to tell you what to do. If, however, you get the urge to ignore our warnings, be smart, be safe, and don't call us for bail when you get caught. Last week, federal agents came down hard on a cell in #060F. I'm told the cell was part of the larger Confederated Underground of the new territorial states, but as of reporting, I cannot confirm any association with that organization. Details are sparse as the government tries to control the narrative surrounding the raid. The official cover story is the raid targeted a lab belonging to a massive interstate drug ring, and all suspects inside died when they exchanged fire with agents of multiple federal agencies. A reliable source who works within an undisclosed agency involved in the raid, however, indicated the official narrative is light years away from the truth. According to their information, only 2 were confirmed dead at the scene, one of whom was a federal agent, and only 1 of the remaining 5 casualties sustained life-threatening injuries and since recovered. To me, that says the majority of the cell members escaped to fight another day. If you're out there listening, stay safe and keep your heads down. If injured, seek treatment only from trustworthy allies. Keep your eyes open, your escape routes clear, and your wits razor sharp. You may be isolated right now. You may feel hopeless. Wherever you are, we're nearby, we're everywhere, and you are not alone. That's the news for today, April 29th, 2026. Let's check in with our listeners by opening the Voice of Ataxia mailbag.
You've got mail.
Oh no. Here we go again.
We often get messages from listeners who have something to share with us, and sometimes we feel it warrants sharing with our listeners. Our first message is a follow-up from Jorge and his abuela, who, you may recall, asked us to give a shout-out to Border Patrol Agent Bobby down in Arizona for his part in their recent relocation north of the border. It seems Jorge and his abuela have teamed up with Agent Bobby to ferry asylum seekers safely across the border, since the official legal channels are less than reliable due to our lord and tyrant, the would-be king. In an effort to minimize the cost to asylum seekers who frequently have little more than the clothes on their backs, Agent Bobby has arranged for his cartel friends to subsidize the cost by using asylum seekers as mules to move product into Arizona. Jorge and his abuela conclude the message with information on how you can reach Agent Bobby if you need assistance, which is displayed on screen now. It sounds to me like Jorge and his abuela have been busy since we last heard from them. God bless Border Patrol Agent Bobby for doing his part to subvert the would-be king. Our next message arrived by way of an email address that seems to be nothing but a keyboard smash instead of an actual username. It reads only, "For urgent dispatch to all Voice of Ataxia listens. Emberdrift is compromised. Do not proceed. The ladies are dirty. Stand by for further instructions." I repeat, the ladies are dirty. Stand by for further instructions. None of that means anything to me, but it must mean something to some of you out there. Whoever the ladies are, it sounds like they're bad news, so I'd avoid them if I were you. Our final message comes from someone who identifies themselves as Terra Famulus. Terra Famulus says, "You ignorant fool. You think you can delete the 2-year-old episode containing definitive proof the Earth is flat and the truth will disappear? You can't silence the truth, Max. The evidence is everywhere. Stop lying to your listeners. The Earth is flat. Space isn't real. Only an idiot denies what his eyes see every single day. Wake up, idiots. The truth is all around us. Open your eyes and accept the evidence. Sounds to me like Terra Famulus drank the wrong Kool-Aid and lost their goddamn mind. No one here at Voice of Ataxia nor the Department of Implicit Chaos deleted any old episodes. There are a few episodes missing from the backlog due to a breach of our server firewall 13 months ago that led to the loss of some corrupted files. Whichever episode you're talking about, and I don't recall any definitive proof of a flat Earth in any of our episodes, it was no doubt one of the many files we lost that day. Sorry to burst your bubble, Terra, but there's no conspiracy here. If you'd like to send a message, visit voiceofataxia.com where you can record a voice message, or if you prefer, you can email max@voiceofataxia.com.
And now our mandatory uninterrupted block of patriotic government-approved music.
How you? Took a chance and came on uptown, huh?
Everybody love the coke. Everybody love the coke, man. Coke, white girl pimpin', never go broke, man. Everybody love the dope, man. First world problems, seen it through a third world scope, man. Everybody love the coke, man. Coke, white girl pimpin', never go broke, man. Everybody love the dope, man. First world problems, seen it through a third world scope, man. They all wanna be him. Till the cops come, then nobody ever seen him. Acts real nice if you meet him, but he gets real mean if you cheat him. White man wanna beat him. Don't stress the flow, you know he got it. Like narcotics at the end of his arm sockets. Everybody's arm in his pockets. Down to fight, but I never seen him talk shit. He only walks it. If you got a show, he gonna rock it. No one in the crowd, but he ain't gonna knock it. He keeps his profit in a shoebox in the closet. Mixtape when you gonna cop it. Next mixtape when you gonna drop it. Baby mama want the money up in his wallet. Born a pro, ain't ever been a novice. Losing friends, but always kept a promise. Everybody love the coke, man. White girl pimpin', never go broke, man. Everybody love the dope, man. First world problems, seen it through a third world scope, man. Everybody love the coke, man. White girl pimpin', never go broke, man. Everybody love the dope, man. First world problems, seen it through a third world scope, man. Didn't get a car, cause he know from the start that he gonna be a part of a large operation. Getting down in a band in the basement. He tried to run with it, but they never escaping. I'm adjacent, but not complacent. Looking in his eyes, you could see the frustration. He be cradling the homies, enabling, but they coming for a rude awakening. Like every day you gotta earn your life or learn to die. And if you wanna sell, you gotta yearn to buy. And if it's your turn to fly, you better burn the sky. You hear him speak, he got the word of wise. It's like he got the whole herd right behind him. He might lead him off a cliff, but he might just sign him. That's if anybody find him. Check your favorite MC, he might outshine him. Everybody love the coke, man. White girl pimpin', never go broke, man. Everybody love the dope, man. First world problems, seen it through a third world scope, man. Everybody love the coke, man. White girl pimpin', never go broke, man. Everybody love the dope, man. First world problems, seen it through a third world scope, man.
Crazy how my life changed so fast in many different ways. But you guys made me who I am today. I do it for my diamonds.
All of me.
I do it for my diamonds.
All of me.
I do it for my diamonds.
All of me. Nothing in this world that I
do it for my
won't
diamonds.
do.
That's right here. I do it for my diamonds.
All of me.
I do it for my diamonds.
All
Double
of me.
diamonds.
Nothing in this world that I won't do.
I couldn't take care of me. Never mind find somebody else. Not a sight to be seen, couldn't even see myself, no direction to go. Two pieces I could call my own. With this girl that I don't even know. Told her I love her when I really don't. I'm doing things that she really won't. Cause I needed my daughters and to support her. I'm down to my last quarter. But yo, and listen, blood's thicker than water. So the pain I absorbed, I did it for a cause. Used to be young and reckless, I did it for the broads. And fast forward, now I'm a father. And I've done a lot of bad kids, this is good karma. Didn't have a dad, every day was a problem. Looking at the top cause I came from the bottom. Everything I do is for them. Times is getting harder, but I do it for my daughters. Listen,
All of me.
I do it for my diamonds.
All of me.
I do it for my diamonds.
All of me.
Always.
Nothing in this world that I
do it for
won't
my
do.
diamonds.
All of me.
I do it for my diamonds.
All of me.
I do it for my diamonds.
All of me. Nothing in this world that I won't do.
The greatest gift of all is to rewind back time, and even though it hurts, just know I put y'all first. I close my eyes and imagine. To me, it was magic. Two little princes living in the palace. But at least to me it was. And I gave up my friends, and it's all because. And I've been there before, but this is love and this is life. And you're more than a blessing. I give you my life, and to me it ain't a question. Hated the past, now I'm living in the presence. I'm here. 4:30, I wrapped you in my arms. My two little peanuts fitted in my palms. I would've took more pictures, but I had to hold you. The only first love you will always go to. And everything always happens for a reason. I learned how to settle down to me, you were a reason. My love for my diamonds.
All of me.
I do it for my diamonds.
All of me.
I do it for my diamonds.
All of me. Nothing in this world that I won't do. All of me.
I do it for my diamonds.
All of me.
I do it for my diamonds.
All of me. Nothing in this world that I won't do.
That's right. Daddy will always be here for life and beyond. Call me whenever. I love you guys.
Looks like it's pouring in my soul. It's a low blow, more disrespect than Han Solo. In control. Read more than dream goal, candlesticks at night, hoping that it's alright. My pencil goes haywire when it sees fire. Drastic attire, desires to conspire. Inspiration goes as far as to seem dire. On the pavement I was a young boy, looking through the eyes of Helen of Troy. 1, 2, 3 days it takes to blaze past. Red, blue, yellow, black contrast. Time is an essence unsurpassed. Rhyme is a lesson learned last. Wait longer than any man yonder. So fond of her as time grows longer. Hope is not yet stronger than to ponder the meaning of strife. Goes hand in hand with trouble in life. Oh, the world is evolving, my time here resolving. Kick back, wait a while, go back to living beguiled. Only now is the time resigned, waiting for the find of a century to rewind.
In time, see the line that's so divine. Yet divides our strides and hides our lives. True goals in mind, red bowls of wine. Time rhyme goes back to old times when things were changed, kings were deranged, people were arranged, exchanged with photochemicals, blasted aerographically, mastered mythologically. Words are not yet discovered, thoughts not yet uncovered, but yet.
But yet, the world goes on, the sun shines on, my mind runs on, thinks about, hears about, dreams forgotten times, forgotten lines, skulls of mine. Drag your feet, wag your fingers at the beak, play the accordion, don't even speak, wrapped for a week and still on a winning streak, life has reached its peak. Live the technique, unique.
Steady as she goes, steady, ready for another one. Dunk tank, water gun, hit me with a sucker punch. Mother love drunk in the gutter funk, shutter bug, blink, shove, shrink, shrug, shudder to think smug. Drug dealer, thug appeal, gun in his grill. He got a funny way of knucking, but none of it's real. He got a pack of self-destruction, an act for deduction, and I'll serve you what you want, and just be careful not to touch him. We booming in the doom days, we firing well. Keep checking your reflection at my kill. We booming in the doom days, we firing well. Keep checking your reflection at my kill. She's crushing on a tin man, tugging on his chin strap, giving him a hug so he can press against her implants. Big bang, every time, bleary-eyed, she replies. Hell yeah. Short sack, long stroke, gone with the hope. Wrong road, overloaded, hose about to explode. Out of control, fake juice, need a fresh squeeze. Let's leave, get wrecked in the streets. We booming in the doom days, we firing well. Keep checking your reflection at my kills. We booming in the doom days, we firing well. Keep checking your reflection at my kills. So we dip, drive on a lipstick slide. How your stone cold smile made a bit's quick rise. Misfit eyes, match, multiply, slide. Joke to make time fly, smoke to get a thighs high. Climb vines to the skyline, cut the beanstalk, weak spot, deep thought. Grew out of some green pot, throw my knot on around a cheap shots. Floats hot, spitting dope rock rhythms to these robots. We booming in the doom days, we firing well. Keep checking your reflection at my kill. We booming in the doom days, we firing well. Keep checking your reflection at my kill. But the show's not over till Oprah sings a coda, and all the ogres sober up enough not to blow ya. Tough turkey plucker sucker, put a hot poker, drove Miss Daisy crazy like a narcoleptic chauffeur. The pattern takes time to take root and break through the main line, push the pain out of the mind to make room for the brave new world disorder. Let's short of fuse and the suicide girls in the cars that go firing well.
We go into battle to reclaim our lives. This we do gladly. As of this moment, we are dead.
In death, a member of Project Mayhem has a name.
For real though, this right here goes out to all our fallen homies. For our homies.
Remember, victory is life.
Victory is life.
This is some pretty surreal shit.
What is best in life?
To cock your enemies, to see them emasculated before you, and give satisfaction to their women.
Here around the offices of the Department of Implicit Chaos, we like to play a little game we call Fascist Cuck of the Week. We each make our personal pick for who deserves to be called the Fascist Cuck of the Week, and provide clues so that we can play a guessing game and see who ultimately was chosen as the Fascist Cuck of the Week by the most staff. This episode's cuck chose to speak out against the goddamn Pope when the Antichrist started beefing with him on the internet. He spent his entire career railing against the United States getting into interventionist wars, but now has his tongue so firmly stuck in the would-be king's ass, he lacks the spine to speak out against the clusterfuck in Iran. Additionally, this cuck may be the only person in human history to check into a hotel and fuck the cuck chair instead of using it for its intended cuckold purposes. If you have an idea of who this episode's Fascist Cuck of the Week is, put your guesses in the comments below and discuss. That concludes our episode, Philistines, but don't be sad, Voice of Ataxia will return May 6th, 2026. Until then, this has been Voice of Ataxia. I have been Max Musterman, and remember, Big Brother is watching, so put on one hell of a show. End transmission.